Okay, Victor, here's some 20-year-old Brabern trees, but they must be on the M26 rootstock because they sure have not grown very much, and there's no vigor in them. There's no suckers in the top, so they're very slow. But when we cut them back that hard and put only 4 grafts on, they're going to do just fine. And I'll see you in the spring, buddy. Wow, talking some serious washboard on this road. But we're about to get off of it. Okay, this is a 31-acre job we will be doing in spring of 2021. We'll be grafting these trees over to a couple of new varieties. Don't know off the top of my head what they are, but this is November 11th, I think, and I'm here to just check on the overall growth on these suckers. I instructed foreman and the manager to cut these trees back and let the suckers grow, and then thin them down to 4 or 5 suckers so they would caliper up, and then we can graft on that young vigorous wood. The older cherry wood, it's just really hard to get a graft to take on old cherry wood. Once they get about 10-12 years old, they don't graft very well with traditional methods. So this is something I started doing a few years back, and it's proven to work very, very well. It's a way to graft older trees when before the only option was to pull them out and plant new trees, and that's very, very expensive. And grafting can be done for a lot less money. It takes another year to get to the market by doing this, by cutting them back, but it's guaranteed success. So we did this in the spring. They cut them back in the spring, back in March or April, March I think sometime, and grew the suckers. And then I've been here a few times and showed them how to thin the suckers down to 3 or 4, tie them so the wind doesn't break them out. They've done a really nice job, and we have a good growth on them and good diameter. When it comes to grafting cherries, in my 39 years experience, there are 3 common denominators for success on grafting cherries, and that is to graft on young wood, graft early, very early in the window, and use really big sign wood. In the past, people have tried to use the same size diameter wood for cherries as they do on apples, and that's a disaster. It just doesn't work. Got to have that large, half-inch diameter wood for it to have the stored carbohydrates, the stored energy that it needs to be able to heal in and grow. You're asking a lot of that piece of sign wood. It has to have enough energy to heal into the stump on the bottom end, and then force the bud on the top end, and that's what will happen if you use the right size of sign wood. Kind of doing this video well for Victor and for anyone who's interested, but especially for my grafter friend in New Zealand, Mike, who I'm hoping to get him over here this next spring 2021. I suppose everything hinges on the COVID thing. What happens there, who knows? It seems to be getting worse. Well, it is getting worse instead of better. Here in the U.S. anyway. There are places that are going back into lockdown. Anyway, I'm here today to just check on what we got from the growing season, and for the most part, it looks really, really good. There's a couple of small ones on this tree, but you know, we can collect sign wood accordingly. I will get with people who are going to collect the wood for this and make sure that everybody's on the same page, and I'll give them a range of size that we can work with, and it's critical. We can do our best work, but if we don't have the right kind of wood, the right size wood, it's still going to fail. But we have the ingredients for success here. If we can just get the right wood, you know, the stumps are healthy, the root system is healthy, they push the suckers, they've got a lot of energy, good root system and good growth on these suckers. So we have the formula for success here. Just the only other ingredient that we need to introduce is the correct sign wood, because we have the good trees and we have good grafters. So we just need good material to work with. I'm just going to drive around this block, Mike, and let you kind of see the scope of this thing. This is 31 acres, a little over 10,000 trees. You can see these rows are quite long. I've been driving and talking for quite a while now. maybe not enough driving and too much talking, but anyway, for my friend Mike in New Zealand, who's grafting today. This is springtime for them, so he's out grafting. If it's not raining, he's grafting. Well, actually, he's on his way south, I think. I think he's driving south to do some work in the southern portion, but I'm kind of pleased with what I see here as far as the overall growth. I'm going to stop here and just take a look at a couple of trees, show you what I look for, what we want to see, what we do see. Sometimes those are the same things, sometimes they're not. But this is excellent. I just wanted to get out of the truck so I'm not shooting into the sun. And take a look here. See, they left more suckers than they need, but they left us a choice. They left a little too many, but they still sized up. If you single them down to 4 or 5, they'll get the diameter that we need. But we did anyway. They left what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that one. But that's okay, because we got the girth. Let me get in here and look at this. This is excellent. You know what? I'm gonna grab my tape measure. Yeah, when they cut them back, there's so much root system there. I don't know how old these trees are. Oh, 14, maybe 15 years old, and a lot of root system. So they pushed a lot of sap. You see, but this is excellent. Look at that. That's 1 inch in diameter. That's perfect. And then the sign wood that we use will be this size. It'll be about a half inch in diameter. And to go on to 1 inch diameter, or even a little bit less, that's 3/4 over there. This is excellent. This is great size to work on. And if I were to graft into this old cherry stump, I could not guarantee anything. I I have too much experience doing this. I just know what you're going to get. Well, I know what you're not going to get. You're not going to get anything consistent. I could put 10 grafts on every tree out here on these old stumps, and there might be 3 grafts grow on one stump. There might be 5 or 6 grow on the next one, and maybe 1 on the next one, and it's just not consistent. And overall, the whole block could fail. And when we do it this way, when we cut them back and grow this nice young brown wood, yeah, color has a lot to do with it. I look for that. Old cherry trees, the bark will start to turn red. They just have no vigor left. That's what happens. And this young, brown, vigorous wood, when I can graft into that, look at this one. This is, that's an 1.25 inches in diameter. And this is just in one season. It's probably 6 feet long, but when I can graft into this young, brown, vigorous wood, I can guarantee them. I can stand behind my work. I can guarantee, already have guaranteed these guys that I'll come in and we'll graft this block. And if anything doesn't grow out here, if there's a tree out here that doesn't have enough grafts growing on it to make a tree, we'll come in and do the repair work on it. We call it pickup work. We'll come in and pick up a tree here and there, and sometimes we have to do that. But that's how confident I am. I guarantee them that if something doesn't grow out here, I'll come fix it. And I know that's going to be very, very few that we might have to do anything with. And for the most part, they'll make trees, even if you got 3 grafts out of the 4 to work, or 2 out of the 4, because cherries grow so vigorously, and especially on these powerful stumps, this powerful root system that they're on, they're going to grow so vigorously that they can make tree probably out of 1 graft. But we want a nice balanced tree, so we're going to graft on 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to graft on 4. We'll find 4 that are evenly spaced around this tree. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we have 3 grafts fail and there's only 1 growing that's on one side, this tree would be kind of lopsided, and we don't want that. So we would come back in and regraft on the other side and throw in a couple of grafts, and we might have to walk this block and do that, but I don't think so. I think it's going to turn out really well. I feel really good about this. It all now depends on the sign wood. We have to get the correct sign wood, the right diameter. It has to be stored correctly. It has to be packaged correctly, and it has to be stored correctly. These are a bit smaller, but we're going to collect sign wood so we can accommodate this. We're going to have wood that's the right size to graft on a little one if we need to. Bigger wood for the big ones, smaller wood for the small ones. Your sign wood needs to be a bit smaller than the understock that you're grafting onto. Just a little bit. With that side graft, you can almost graft the same size. With a whip graft, of course you can, but the same diameter is exactly what you want. But we're going to side graft these because that's where we shine. That's what we're proficient at. We can really knock them out with that side graft. That's what we know how to do. That's what we specialize in. There's many other techniques that we use, but in this scenario, that side graft is exactly what you want. It's the perfect graft for these trees, for these suckers anyway. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drive around the block and show my New Zealand grafter friend Mike what we're looking at here, and I hope this thing works out in the spring with this COVID deal. It works out so you can come, Mike, and help us on this. I just didn't have enough work last year or the year before to get you here. And I really want to. I'm hoping it works out for us this time. Okay, this is not the best time of day to be filming this, but kind of shooting into the sun. But yeah, you get an idea how long those rows are. I think you can see the road up there. Some trees beyond this block. Again, shooting into the sun, but you get an idea. An idea what we're looking at here, the scale of this thing. And I know it's not a big deal. It's a good sized job for us in this area. We don't get a lot of jobs that are 30 acres. We did one 3 years ago, really close to this place. It was 50 plus acres that we did, a little over 50 acres. But that's a nice sized job for us. We're happy with that. We do whatever comes in, that's what we do. One year I grafted 800 acres of grapes in California for E.J. Gallo. And the same year I grafted one tree in the backyard in Okanagan, Washington for a 83-year-old lady and one tree. So, no job too big, no job too small. Coates Grafting Company will graft them all. Oh, the lady was a character too. She said, "What's that black stuff? Don't cut that tree like that. Whose dog's barking?" she says to Elmer, her foreman. "Whose dog's barking? Elmer?" He said, "It's your dog, Ethel." The dog was standing right beside her. So you get little fun jobs like that. And she was cussing at me. "What the hell are you doing to my tree? Don't cut it like that." We got all done. And, well, while I was grafting, he said, "You think I'll live to see fruit off of that?" And we got all done. She said, "Do I owe you anything?" And I said, "No, ma'am, Ethel, you do not owe me anything. It's just been my pleasure to come and do this for you, just for you." And I had driven 60 miles, I guess, to do this one tree for this lady. But it was just a fun thing to do. I took my 63 Impala and just went for a little drive that day. And did this little grafting job, and it was all just great. So you can see I've been driving for a while, and I still haven't made it around this block yet. Yeah, for the most part, these are very nice candidates for cherry grafting. Cherry grafting is pretty tricky. The other grafters in this state, they don't like to graft cherries. Even there's one grafter in Yakima that's really well known, has a lot of experience. He gets calls for cherries and goes, "You better call Coates." He said, "I can do them, but I can't guarantee them." Well, I can do them and I will guarantee them. If I can't guarantee them, I won't do them. I won't do those risky jobs anymore. We just didn't know any better at one time. So now we do. We know how to do them now. And I can stand behind them. There again, we can see kind of the length of it. Well, this is shorter rows, but get an idea of the length of these rows. We'll be here for a few days. We'll Not long though. Week or 10 days. If I can get New Zealand Mike in here, and if I can get Victor Jr. in here for a week, and then Victor and Jorge, 4 grafters going in here, you can do a lot of damage in a day. And usually on a job this big, I can't get on a knife myself. I'm usually pretty busy just running supplies and getting the people in here and the support labor and all that. But we'll see. I might be able to get on a knife. I might just float. That's what we call a floater. Guy just goes from row to row, and one guy's a little behind, hits a couple of rough trees or something, gets a little behind, and the floater catches him up so that everybody's moving evenly and keeps the support labor moving evenly. Don't want to get bottlenecked or have people standing around. So, okay. I think we've seen enough, and now I see that I'm on the wrong side of the canal. I'm hoping I can find my way out of here. All right. I guess that's about enough of this. Thanks for coming along today, guys. We'll see you in the spring on this job. It'll definitely be a follow-up video when we come in to do the grafting on this. Okay, I'm out of here. See ya.